Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a look using the Sweet Talk palette. I know I've used it a couple of times and I know you've seen it, but I'm going to show you anyways. It's this little beaut right here, and we're probably going to be doing a cut crease look with it. Maybe, we'll see. We'll see. You would think I would know, but I don't know. So let's go ahead and let me put my hair back real quick. And to get started, I'm actually going to bring you in just a, nope, wrong way. Just a little bit, yeah. And ignore my nose, it's a little bit red because I'm having allergies. Big surprise, and having to blow my nose, and I'm sneezing a lot, so it's making me have a red nose because I am Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So yeah. To get started, you know, we already have our base on, and I've showed you what I do for my foundation. If you have not seen it, you can go check it out. I'll link it up here. It's a foundation tutorial. And to get started, I'm going to take this color, Work It, and if you don't have this palette yet or plan on getting it, but you want to use, you know, copy a look that someone's doing, you can just use similar shades to what's in here. I'm just using a crease brush to put this in my crease. This is the Luxie Large Eye Blending 250. And I'm just literally putting that right above the lid into my crease just to have something laid down. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is actually take this West Side color, which is like a warm light brown, and I'm putting that into the crease also, but not quite as high onto the other color. So the next color, I'm actually going to change to a smaller brush for this. So I want to use my, I know it's the Vasanti brush. Here it is. This is the Vasanti. I really like the shape of this. I wish I had several more of these, and like a little bigger and a little different shapes, make maybe one a little fluffier and whatnot. This is the contour eyeshadow. I'm going to take that color Feel Free, which is the burgundy color, and I'm going to go into that, tap off the excess, and right above my crease I want to start placing that right there. Now I'm going to take a tight, small blending brush. Let's see. Let's use this Moda BMX 466. It's actually called a shader or a shade brush, but I'm going to use it to blend that little bit of color. Now, as I mentioned before, these do have some fallout, so I'm going to use my little tissue trick. If you haven't seen what I'm talking about, I just take a little square of tissue instead of using tape on your face and tugging on that really sensitive skin and pulling up your foundation. If you already have your foundation done, you just take a square of tissue and fold it into a triangle, and then you're going to place it where you want that shape to be. Let me get my mirror. You're going to place it where you want the shape of that to be, like so. And I'm going to go into that dark color on that same brush, and I'm just going to pat it onto the outer corner, using that tissue to catch fallout and also as a guide. Okay, you see how that created your line for you? This one's a little bit wonky, but we'll fix it. That was because of me. Well, because the tissue, I accidentally moved it. So just gonna go back. I'm going to knock off the excess, and I'm going to blend the edge of that color again. Now when we applied that color, I put it all the way over to the middle of the lid. Okay, so the next step I want to do is take some of my concealer, which I'm just going to use today. This, if I can find it, LA Girl Pro Conceal High Definition in flat white, and I'm going to get a concealer brush. For this application, I'm going to use my Luxie 246 Precision Crease brush, say that 3 times fast, Then I'm going to put a little bit of this on the back of my hand. I always get too much, so I'm going to try to get a smaller amount this time, because I don't really need that much at all. I'm going to take this brush with a little bit of that product on it, and I'm going to start cutting out where I want my next color to be. I don't want it to be quite all the way halfway over. It's like right before halfway. And I know I'm going to want a little bit of this on the bottom, so I'm going to take the smallest amount and put it underneath. So now what I want to do for this is use a loose pigment. You don't have to do that. You can use anything in this palette you want to use. I see lots of people use the pressed glitters. Do that at your own discretion because they are not eye safe. So just keep that in mind. But what I'm going to do is take this Alamar Cosmetics brush. I don't know what it's called. I'm going to take a little bit of my NYX Multitasker Mixing Medium, which I've showed you before in my loose pigment tutorial, how to use it. I'll link that up there if you want to see it. And you just need a teensy tiny amount. That's probably too much also, again. And I'm going to be using this color from Meech and Mia, and it's copper. So what you want to do is take a little bit of this mixing medium and mix it. I'm going to put a little bit out. Hold on just a second. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take a little bit of the mixing medium on a clean surface, your hand, if you have a little palette board you can use. Whatever you have that's clean, and you want to mix it with that mixing medium, and it makes it a nice little like eyeshadow type, liquid eyeshadow type consistency. And I'm going to apply that right. And now that I have that on my eye, I'm just going to dip my brush back into the dry product and tap it onto that so it'll be really pigmented. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and put this up because it's messy and I don't want to spill it everywhere, because God knows I will. I'm going to give my brush a little wipe off with that tissue that we used. Double purpose. So the next thing I want to do is dip back into that burgundy shade and just make sure that these two colors that connected right here are nice and mellowed together, because I don't want them to be choppy looking. I want them to be blended nicely. And you need to let that primer totally dry before you do this, or it can get really like sticky and tacky, and then you'll just have like patches of darker eyeshadow right there. What I'm going to do is take a little tiny blending brush. I think I'm going to use this Luxie 237. It's just a teeny one. I'm going to go back into that initial lightest color that we used and just make sure everything is blended at the top. I'm going to add a little bit of that color, and then I'm going to knock it off, and then I'm going to blend. Alright, next we're going to knock all the fallout off our face from that copper pigment. And then we're going to add a little bit of purple eyeliner. Today I'm going to use this Catherine Natural Cosmetics eyeliner in Royal Plum. Just looks like this. And I'm going to line my waterline and tightline. And once we're finished doing that, I'm going to take a little bit of this liner and smudge it into the lash line. scroll it up a little bit. Keeping it really close to the lash line. Added that to the top. You're going to take a little brush. Well, this is totally optional. I'm going to take a little brush. This is a liner brush from Moda Cosmetics. If you don't know what to do with that, it's for a liner or for your brows. And I'm actually going to sharpen that little line, flick it out a little bit, so it's not just a little pudgy line. It's got a little point to it. And with that purple powder that we just used, I'm going to use that to smudge out my bottom lash line and to seal in that eyeliner on the bottom, because we don't want it running and going anywhere. Then I'm going to take that same brush and color and stamp it on the top where we just laid that eyeliner down. And if you don't have a pointed eyeliner brush, you can use a little smudger brush for this also. One of those little flat ones. You don't have to use a angled one. You can just use what you have. So now I think we're going to move on to mascara. So yeah, we're just going to curl our lashes and put mascara on. I'm just going to use the Big Ego mascara from Tarte. Okay, so next we're going to move on to highlighter, and I'm going to use the Shimmering Swan Sparkling Sass Highlighter Illuminator from Pretty Vulgar Cosmetics. It just looks like this. I didn't want to use a white. I didn't want to use anything pink or orangey. I wanted to use something that had like a really goldeny, champagne-y kind of shimmer to it to kind of go with this copper. So I'm going to start off by using my Luxie 111 Mini Flat Angled brush, which you know I use for detailed highlighting. Okay, so now we're going to move on to lips. Let's see, what do we want to do for lips? Should we do like a purple color? I never know what I want to do for lips. I feel like something like this might be alright. Let me see. I think I may just take this color. This is the Bare Minerals Gin Nude Matte Liquid Lip Color in Swank. Just looks like this. Okay, so if you didn't want to do something quite this dark, you could definitely do something a little more like nude or brown. Like, let me see. Where did I set that? Something like this brown gloss from Smashbox would look really good with it as well. But I think I like the purple with it. Purpley, maroony kind of color. Okay, so this is the finished look. You see we have that copper and we have that plum liner that we used, smudged out and topped it with the eyeshadow, the same eyeshadow we used. You can see even though it's the same eyeshadow we used, it didn't blend so much into what we already had on that you can't see it anymore. It definitely is still there and defined. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the finished look. I hope you guys like this look, and if you have any kind of comments or questions, just leave them down below, and make sure you subscribe if you have not already. I post every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!